Right, welcome back to another live feed on the Shopman's YouTube channel. Let's get into it, man. Continuation of the top 50 underrated classic albums in hip hop history. Right here. So we're gonna get into number 7. Yeah, number 7 right now is Cypress Hill, the self-titled album 1991 of Rough House Columbia SME Records. This album was definitely unique. And Cypress Hill was definitely unique because you didn't see, I don't think before that, like a Latino group that had the impact that this group had as far as Latinos are concerned. Gotta be the greatest Latino rap group ever. I don't know if DJ Muzz is Spanish, but Sin Dog and Be Real definitely Hispanic, but they are qualified as a Latino group. They came up with this album in 1991 on August 13th, 1991. And Cypress Hill was from the West Coast, and that's the thing about them that they didn't go with the gangster rap that was going on at the time. They had their own new style, the grittiness of the first album. Hip hop was more poppy and glitzy, so they had to be a balance. So contributing to that balance was Cypress Hill, you know. And their first single, the double A side, the Funky Feel one, How Can I Just Kill a Man, the songs received heavy airplay on urban and college radio. Also, 2 more singles like Latin Lingo, Hand on the Pump. The group combined English and Spanish lyrics in the music. Uh, Cypress Hill composed of Be Real, Sin Dog, and DJ Muggs. Be Real had his own style because of his nasal vocals that was very high pitched. Sin Dog had a voice that was deeper. DJ Muggs had a structured style of his own in terms of psychedelic value using bass heavy rhythms and sample loops. And plus, his album went double platinum. Self-titled album was very successful commercially. 16 songs in the album produced by DJ Muggs, number 4 in the charts for his R&B and hip hop albums are concerned. What made this album an underrated album was the blueprint Cypress Hill laid out. So it's bridging the gap between alternative rock and hard rock. The blueprint was a sonic blueprint that was copied. When you look at Dr. Dre's The Chronic album, it was influenced by Cypress Hill's style and sound. The group was always pro-marijuana, not the glorified, but I'm just talking about that's what the group was into. They were pro-marijuana long before The Chronic was ever released in 1992. So Cypress Hill hold their own when it comes to the greatest groups in hip-hop history, but they also have one of the most underrated classic albums of all time. So true. So, Team On, why is this an underrated classic? Establish a unique psychedelic West Coast sound. And that's very important because, again, the G-Funk, West Coast gangster rap stuff that was going on, they had their own sound. But when Cypress Hill came out, they had their own thing going. They had DJ Muggs, bass-heavy jazz sampling beats, pairing up with Be Real's higher nasal whine and the gritty growl of Sin Dog, creating a cinematic, smoke-filled static that changed 90s hip-hop. DJ Muggs was definitely unique. He created his own claustrophobic boom bap that was entirely distinct from, again, the G-Funk music that was going on in California. So despite them being from the West Coast, they was able to do their own thing. Thanks for hitting the like button. You should subscribe to the channel. Thanks for 13 people tuning in. So you look at the vocal contrast, Be Real's frantic, high register delivery perfectly juxtaposed Sin Dog's deep, better bass tone, giving the group an instantly recognizable dynamic, and also Latino representation as one of the first major hip hop groups featuring Latino members. Cypress Hill shattered cultural barriers, bringing an entirely new perspective to West Coast rap. So they had their own lane in the West Coast, just like the Far Side, just like Souls of Mischief, just like they were the Funky Homo Sapien, just like a lot of different groups that was out west. They wasn't following the gangster rap stuff, you know what I'm saying? So it's not easy, but they was able to represent their own thing. So that's an underrated classic, man. Definitely. So that's it, man. Look at Cypress Hill's first album. Thanks for tuning in. Come back at 2:30 with number 6. Number 6 underrated classic album. We're gonna get to that. So count down. Who had the number 1 underrated classic album in hip hop history? We're gonna be at number 6 coming up real soon at 2:30. Until then, talk to you soon.